Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Good afternoon. We're back. Trying to settle in for a productive Friday afternoon at work. That's the plan, at least. We'll see how well it goes. Let's see. I am currently a little too quiet, aren't I? Let me turn up my. Oh, I'm not using the right microphone. How's that? That's probably better, right? Hey, what's up, Arkin? How are you? You are first, indeed. Hey, how's the audio? Do I sound loud enough? I just need to maybe move my mic closer to my face. Is that better? That seems a little better. Sometimes I talk too quiet, and then sometimes I talk too loud, and then the microphone volume's off, and yeah. So just let me know if I need to turn up my voice. I can do that. All right, here we go. Hey, Butterscotch, what's up? There is not much exciting going around these parts. Ubody. Hello, Ubody. Arcane gain is low a little bit. Okay, let me try turning it up a little bit more. You guys just tell me if it gets too loud. Let me know. The worst thing to do, I feel like, is to blow out people's eardrums. You know. There we go. Test, test. That seems better. I think the microphone's just a little further away from me than normal, but this will work. Keyshawn, where's the screen? No screen because I'm at work, Keyshawn. / Pomodoro. Yes. When I work, I try to follow the Pomodoro timer if I can. It's just a good reminder to, like, let's see if we can't beat this clock, right? Like, how much can I accomplish before this clock runs out? It's also a good reminder to get up every once in a while from your chair, you know? Stux, you're making your own AI, right? I'm not making my own AI, but I am trying to learn how to build transformers in my spare time. But that's not what I'm doing today, or at least that's not what I'm doing right now on stream. Ubody, what you doing today? This is just, yeah, I'm just working, man. Talking to you guys, putting in a little time on stream and getting some work done. I'll try to keep up with chat as much as I can. My phone battery is dying. That's the worst, dude. That's the worst. Whenever you have to leave your house and your phone battery's at like 20%, such an anxiety producing event. Pablo, effect didn't go that well, huh? It's not that it didn't go well. I just don't think I need to give it more time, right? It was more of a rabbit hole than I was expecting, Pablo. So it definitely seems interesting. It definitely seems like something I should allocate some more time to. But it was just a lot deeper of a rabbit hole than I was expecting. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? It just is. Keyshawn, do you have a full-time job? Oh yeah, for sure, Keyshawn. I just do YouTube for fun. I work full-time. You can actually find my LinkedIn if you want. If you type ! LinkedIn, you'll find it. Nightbot will hook you up with the link. But yeah, I have a full-time gig. I got 2 kids, you know, and a wife. I gotta have health insurance and 401k and all that stuff. Stux, how do you do it? Stux, honestly, you need to go pick up this book that I'm working through. It's called How to Build a Large Language Model. and just follow that book because that's what I'm doing. /, you suck at programming, just dropped a new video. He's gonna render bitmap in Bash. Dude, that dude is crazy good at programming. He's crazy good at Bash. I don't know. I've not seen him write a lot of other languages, but man, he is awesome at Bash. His content is just tops. Meng, it is currently 1:31 p.m. Hello, Patrick. Mia donated $10. Well, thanks, Mia. Stuck's already 25 viewers. Oh, nice. Very cool. Well, whoever's here, I'm glad you're here. I personally wish my phone would just explode. Well, we all have days like that. Also, VS Code should help. Neovim was struggling with TypeScript there. Yeah, I had to switch over. When I actually start writing code, I probably should do it in VS Code because Neovim was throwing a bunch of errors. The TS, whatever language server I'm using for TypeScript, kept throwing errors. Stux donated 10. I think Mia's just fucking with us, Stux. /. Main issue I see with React, it seems hard as heck to test beyond testing the output. I don't know. I think React's pretty testable. Yeah, I don't think it's not testable. He wrote assembly for an April Fool's joke. That's very impressive. People who can pick up things like that, like assembly. Like I saw Primeagen learn assembly in like one stream. Super impressive. He = you suck at programming. Yeah, you suck at programming is somebody everyone here should go subscribe to. Actually, let me link his channel real quick because his content's really good. I think his real name's Dave Eddy, and I think he has a personal YouTube channel under Dave Eddy, but all his programming content is under the You Suck at Programming channel. He's on TikTok too, if you guys like to follow him TikTok. You should go follow this fella. Oh, I realized I hit the Pomodoro timer when I did that. That's my bad. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think assembly would be pretty hard for me. Or at least it wouldn't be easy. Like I think I could pick up Java pretty rapidly. I feel like I've been able to pick up Go fairly good clip, but I think if I was to try to go write assembly, there'd be a lot of smashing of keyboards and cursing of screen. / Steven's such an ego. I mean, it's good to be egoless, man. Or at least if you have an ego, don't build your ego on fragile things, you know? Keyshawn, is your job full work from home? It is work from home. Yeah, most of our company is remote. We have a headquarters. A few people go in every day, but for the most part, everybody's remote, which is such a blessing. And I hope I can forever stay a remote worker. For the longest time, I wasn't. Like when I was a food scientist, I was based at the plant, at our manufacturing plant. And so switching to a job that you can do from home has just been something I will never take for granted. Ever. And I've been doing it for almost 5 years. 5 years in August. But yeah, I thank my lucky stars every day that I get to have a remote job. And it's one of the reasons I also feel that I also try really hard at work. Like I try to put my best effort in because I'm very appreciative for all the perks that come along with my job. Hey Elias, how are you, man? It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. We are gonna hide this guy from the channel because I do not like his username. See you later, buddy. Have a nice day. Hello, Rena. How are you? It's like, let's take programming flow and then let's totally reinvent it to cater to our own language. Good night, Rena. Sleep good. / I don't like working remote. You rent an office? Oh, man. Working remote is baller. There's no way. I've actually seen some guys on TikTok that I follow who aren't necessarily in tech. I think one of them's he's a salesperson in tech, and one of them's maybe an SE or something. And I follow them on TikTok, and they actually pay out of their own pocket to rent an office, which I guess if you make enough money where that makes sense. But yeah, I'm perfectly happy with my home setup. My home setup is probably nicer than any office I will ever have in my career, you know? So, I've actually never had an office. In all the jobs I've ever had, I've never had an office. It's always just been like a shared working space or a cubicle or something like that. Ark and learn Java and repent for your sins. Elias, my dream job, remote working, game changer. Yeah, Elias, if that is what you want to do, I think the world, I think pre-COVID, there were remote jobs, but it was a much harder sell, like to get a remote job. I think it's more feasible now. Like, I don't think it's necessary. I'm not saying it's easy, but, oh, you said thanks, Corona. Yeah, I think it's much more possible if that's something you do want. Thanks, Steven. That wasn't very safe for work. My apologies. Gojin, what level is your RuneScape account? Oh man, I haven't played RuneScape since middle school. I have no idea. I couldn't even get into my RuneScape account probably at this point. Hello, Soarja. How are you? Technically renting a desk, not an office. Oh, okay. That's nice. Yeah, just like one room. That'd be plenty. Rejuvenate your mind. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received or have given? I wouldn't say I've given wonderful advice. You know, that seems if you think you give really great advice, there's probably some ego attached to that. I think the best piece of advice I've ever received was from my strength conditioning coach in high school. His name's Michael Lawrence. He told me that basically my success, he was speaking more in the terms of football and in terms of sport and athletics, but it has applied to basically everything in my life. But he told me that my success and my ability to grow would be very much connected with my ability to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that is something I have thought about every day since probably, I don't know, freshman, sophomore year of high school when he said that. And so, and I very much believe that is in fact the case. Oh, Amkar, introduce yourself, tell your content. So most of my content is just around whatever I'm interested at that particular moment in time. I've had this YouTube channel for 10 plus years now. So if you go back, there's a section of videos that are very fitness heavy. If you go to like the middle of the channel, there's a section of videos that's very vlog heavy, just around my life and my family. If you go to more recent content, it's more about coding and programming and tech related stuff. So I use this channel purely for Steven Freeborn. Like what content do I want to make? What things am I learning? What stuff am I interested in? And that's what will be here. And right now that's mainly programming and coding, things that I'm doing related to those subjects. Not necessarily teaching it, but trying to share what I'm doing, things I've learned. And if other people find that helpful and useful or entertaining, that's great. But it's largely about making content that I enjoy making. / no, it's a desk in a hallway. Oh, fair enough. Okay. Desk in the hallway. Nothing wrong with that. Hopefully it's not too expensive. You know, if you're paying for it, hopefully it's a nice office space, a nice hallway. Tell me something about DevOps. Is it good time to look at DevOps? I think it's probably always a good time to look at DevOps. I mean, I don't think any of these careers that are currently a thing are going away in the next 10 years, you know? So yeah, if you're interested in DevOpsy stuff, go for it. Omcar, you are a programmer. So my day job is my title is a senior quality and reliability engineer, and most of my work is around the quality part of that title. So doing a lot of automated and manual testing for a web application. And then in my free time, I like to do web development things in my free time. I am not a Microsoft employee, if that's what you're asking. Steven, I have to work, but I'm lazy. Well, then going to a desk in a hallway sounds like a good forcing function for that. Elias, he was explaining muscle memory to you. I mean your coach. No, he was explaining the fact that, like, if you want to be great at anything, it's going to require you to suffer a little bit, and you need to get comfortable with that uncomfortability. Oh, thanks, Stux. That's very kind of you, man. Appreciate you. Butterscotch, where are the horizontal streams? You haven't looked into it? No, I did look into it, and I did try. However, I think having 2 streams going concurrently from my machine, either it put my machine under a lot of load, or it put my bandwidth under a lot of load. In any event, the quality of streaming both vertically and horizontally to YouTube was not very good. So I did give it a try, but it didn't go well. So for now, we're going to stick with vertical, and maybe we mix it up. Maybe we do some vertical, some horizontal, something like that. Chad, is master waiting is a sin? What? Oh. All these people that try to put stuff in chat and they get you to try to read it so that you'll say something stupid. Nice try. Nice try, Chad. Turbo Munch, don't hack my PC. No, I would never hack your PC. I don't even have the skills to be able to hack someone's PC. Hey, what's up, Victor? Right? That's what you told me to call you, right? Victor, what's up, bro? How are you? It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. It has been a long time, by the way, which I'm hoping is for good reasons, that you've been super busy with lots of stuff going on in your life and you haven't had time to be on YouTube as much. Bot with Google Opinion Rewards. Oh, nice. Interesting. I've never heard of Google Opinion Rewards. Abu, is DevOps and QA are somehow connected? Well, we're all connected, I think, to some extent, you know. I think DevOps are connected in the sense that typically a lot of modern QA practices are going to facilitate a lot of modern DevOps practices, right? So it's really difficult to automate deployment processes if you can't assure that things are working as you would expect them to, both before you deploy and after you deploy. So I think it'd be very difficult to execute a lot of the modern DevOps stuff if you don't have a fairly sophisticated QA program. Whether that QA program exists independently from your development team or if it's embedded in your development team, which it seems like more and more the case, the QA function is being embedded into development teams more and more. I was going to mute my Slack tab because that's kind of annoying. And I'm also going to, there we go, that's better. Stux, are you going to add rules channel to Discord? Because I don't know the rules. Probably not, unless people start behaving in such a way where I need to clearly state in a lot of words, don't be a jerk and don't be an asshole in the Discord. I mean, if my Discord or if Discord ever becomes a chore for me, I'll just delete the Discord server. um, I'm not looking to be a full-time Discord server mod, nor manage a bunch of Discord server mods. If you don't see me around, I'm probably dead or in jail. So think the worst? Okay. Victor, nice bro. How's wife and kids? Time zones have kept me away. Oh yeah, time zones suck, huh? Time zones are always getting in the way. Yeah, everyone's here is good. I'm healthy. My kids are healthy. My wife's healthy. We're getting ready to start school. Football season's upon us. My oldest son's playing some football, tackle football, so it's good. Normie, I did not do that. My wife and 8 kids all died in a freak water slide accident. I've been busy with funerals. You would think they would have stopped them all from sliding down the water slide, but nope. Professor Oak, I haven't seen you in a long time, and somehow I'm feeling very skeptical of this story that you're telling me. If it is true, then I have all the sympathy in the world, but it seems kind of fishy. See you, Stux. / all this data sucks. What do you mean data? What data are you talking about? Hello, Baran. I think that's how you say your name. Bahrain, something like that. Arkin, I thought Americans call it soccer, not football. I appreciate it. Well, yeah, when I say football, I mean American football. Not the football everybody else talks about. It's data from city government, so it's absolutely awful. Well, there's not very many data sources that are actually good data sources. I mean, if you've ever worked in a corporation before, we all know the pain of trying to find a single source of truth for any given data point. I worked at a company. What? Oh, Keyshawn, I saw you answer that question, and I completely. Oh, what? My test just failed that I wrote. Well, that's not good. Keyshawn, I'm sorry. I saw that question earlier, and I completely forgot. You did not need to super chat to get me to answer it. So my apologies. What UI framework your company use for UI and front end? So I've mentioned this before on stream. We don't have a super modern tech stack, but my company, the company I work for, has been around for quite a long time, 10 plus years. So when the application was initially being developed, you've got to kind of put yourself at that point in time. And so most of the tech stack is ASP.NET, MVC, jQuery, vanilla CSS. So yeah, we're just kind of old school in that sense. But it's plenty effective, and our developers are able to be plenty productive. But we're not using Vue or React or anything like that on the front end, which is why it's always funny. I've said this in our Discord server a couple times, but it's always funny to me because I think if you were to show some of the JavaScript that I read often to some people who have started learning how to be a developer or build front ends in the last 5 years, I don't think they'd be able to figure out what the heck is happening. Or at least it would take them a few minutes to figure out, what is this code? Well, it's JavaScript and it's jQuery. Welcome to 2010. 2011. Boom Blastics, love from India, buddy. What's going on? Hey, Boom Blastics, how are you? Nothing's going on. We're just trying to have ourselves a nice, peaceful Friday afternoon and be productive, get some work done, you know? And so far, the work is going well. Oh, Siri thinks I'm talking to them. All right, we can take a break now. Actually, 10 minutes is way too long. How do I change this? 5. Should be 5 minutes. There we go. 5-minute break. Nova, hello Chief. It's been a long time since I joined the live. How you been? Hey Nova, yeah, it has been a long time. I'm doing good. I hope you are doing well as well. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna stand up and lift this kettlebell real quick. And when I say kettlebell, I really do mean a real kettlebell. I feel like I always feel better at the end of the day when I intersperse the day with some exercise. Okay. Where are we at? What are we doing? Excuse me. Professor Oak. I don't know what Professor Oak's doing. Keyshawn, it's not my money. Got it on Google Opinion Rewards. What is this Google Opinion Rewards? I don't know what this is. Butterscotch. Monetization is working good. Yeah, but the thing is, like, people don't have to send super chats, though, you know? Y'all can just hang out here. No biggie. How heavy is that kettlebell? It's 45 pounds. It's in the middle of the road. I almost got into my dream job. I'm in my background screening part. Wish me luck. Well, hopefully you sort of already know the results of that background check. I ride a bicycle to commute to work. You can't do that if you work remote. That's true, but if you work remote and you have a home gym, you can just go into your home gym whenever you'd like. You can also leave and go for walks whenever you like. Professor Oak, I'm explaining why I've been gone. So Professor Oak, if you're being dead ass serious, then I'm sorry, but the story you're telling seems way too outlandish to be true, if I'm being honest. Google Opinion Rewards is a mobile application developed by Google that allows users to earn Google Play credit by answering short surveys. Oh, interesting. At Stux, he's not here to compete. Who can donate more? Yeah, I definitely want you guys to keep your money. That's the thing. I'm just gonna see if I can't turn off the buzzer because I don't really care for the buzzer. Do not go to Knights Action Park in Springfield, Illinois. Okay, can't trust an old friend in his time. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't call us old friends, Professor Oak. I don't know if you'd call anybody you meet in uh, YouTube chats old friends. Actually, I have no time. I'm swamped with work. I'm about to have some more. Well, you better put your head down and get to it. Hello, Major. How are you? Nova, do you think Hulk Hogan deserved a second chance? He went out with all that hate. Well, I think Hulk Hogan lived a life where I think he lived a life that was very polarizing. And I'm sure there was people in his life that cared very deeply for him. And I think there was people in the world that didn't care very deeply for him. And I think that's the result of the way you live your life, you know? Hello, Big Nova. How are you? I'm doing well, man. We're just taking a little break. Now we're getting ready to dive into another little Pomodoro work session. I'm actually towards the end of the current task that I'm on, but I need to figure out why one of the tests I wrote is failing. And I think it has to do with the fact that I think it has to do with some global settings that I need to account for. My coffee I got at Starbucks was too hot. That's the worst, especially if you pay $7 for it. Coffee at Starbucks is expensive. Like an iced latte, like a grande iced latte is like $6 or $7. It's unbelievable. And man, if they get the shade of that iced latte the wrong shade, like a little bit too coffee shade, a little bit too milk shade, one way or the other, it completely wrecks the experience. And then you wish you had your $7 back. I did get a new espresso machine though, so I don't need to go to Starbucks anymore. Equal / what happened to Hulk Hogan? Yeah, he passed away. Yeah. I mean, you got to be sad anytime a human passes away. You know, that's never a good thing, but that's where we're all headed, you know? It's like we all know the end to our story ahead of time. Okay, so why is this not working? The Charisman King. I don't think Hulk got all that hate. It's just that the majority of social media outlets are run by people on the left, so it seems like more people hate him. I think that's a good point. I mean, there's definitely something to be said that the loud few oftentimes they drown out the quiet majority, for sure. And I'm not necessarily saying the majority of people liked Hulk Hogan or hated Hulk Hogan. I'm just saying I agree with the sentiment there. Professor Oak's starting to kind of annoy me, so I'm gonna time you out, Professor Oak. Come back when you've had some time to chillax. As you can see, I'm so very tolerant of our YouTube our YouTube trolls. Stux, what are you specialist in? What do you mean, Stux? Like, what would you consider me to be good at from like a programming or like development standpoint? Is that what you're asking? Yes, it was $7. Yeah, that's the worst, man. The guy was part of my childhood, but like you said, you reap what you sow. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Hulk Hogan definitely, I think there are people have good memories that involve Hulk Hogan, right? I just think personally, he obviously did some things that were controversial in his personal life, and so I think it's hard for a human being. Most human beings, I think it's hard for most human beings to be considered all good or all bad, right? Like we're all kind of flawed creatures and individuals. We all make mistakes. We all probably have things that we've done or said that we wish we didn't do or say. So yeah, I think Professor Oak is a troll. Yes, I would agree. Sometimes he's been in my stream before and he hasn't been a troll, but today he was coming in hot. Stuck. What's the timer for? The timer is just kind of for me to say, okay, I've got 25 minutes here. Can I complete as much of whatever thing I'm doing in that 25 minutes, right? So it's just kind of a way to create some level of arbitrary sense of urgency about the thing you're doing. I don't use it all the time, but when I do remember to, I always feel like I'm a little bit more productive. / gotta lock in. All right, man, get it. Lock in. Should be wrapping up the day here pretty soon, actually, for most people, right? 2 p.m. in the afternoon. There should be 5 o'clock somewhere. Nova, would you prefer to stick with chatting just about coding and stuff, or anything general? No, Nova, I'm open to talking about whatever. Most of the time, though, if it's something I don't know anything about, I'll just say I don't know anything. I don't know anything about that. So results may vary, I guess I should say, depending on what you ask me. But I'm happy to talk about other things. Things I know things about. I know some stuff about coding. I know some stuff about programming. I have experiences in being a parent. I have experiences being a personal trainer. I like to work out. I like football, baseball. So yeah, things in those areas. I have probably some opinions to share. Tailspeed, hi from Glasgow, Scotland. Well, hello, Tailspeed. Keyshawn, he is good at Vim. I wouldn't say I'm good at Vim. I would say if you were using like martial arts belts as like a way to rank how good somebody is in their Vim skills, I would be like a white belt. Steven is good at writing the least amount of code in his streams. Well, I am writing code right now. I'm writing TypeScript playwright tests. I'm writing playwright tests in TypeScript, but I'm just doing it off stream because this is code for work and I don't want to get myself into trouble. 8 a.m. hub. You look untrustworthy around small children. Well, that's not very nice. I'm a 32-year-old dad too, man. So that's not very nice. Oh, Stuck's got banned by Nightbot. I love that message Nightbot sent to get off the stage. Cool Wizard Ultra MAGA. Okay. Well, I mean, you're welcome to have whatever political views you want. Doesn't mean we have to agree with them, though. I'm a little blown out, aren't I? Oh no, that's too dark. I guess I just have to live with being a little blown out. Stucks, am I banned? No, I didn't ban you. I think Nightbot if there's too many messages that say the same thing, Nightbot will give you a slap on the wrist. Keyshawn, I have used Cypress. Is good. Cypress is okay. Cypress is though not as good as Playwright. I mean, if you're doing something greenfield, if you're working on a greenfield project that has to deal with browser automation, Playwright is hands down the better library, in my opinion. I know people make the argument that like, well, you know, Selenium's been around for forever. It's got a big community and lots of support, yada yada yada. If you've ever sat down to write a Selenium, especially if you want to do like cross-browser testing, and you sat down to write a Selenium test or a Cypress test, and then you sit down to write a Playwright test, it becomes very obvious very quickly that Playwright is a much better experience. That is an opinion I'm willing to die on. I also think that if you're going to use Playwright, you should use the TypeScript version of Playwright, and the reason for that is the TypeScript library, the Node library for Playwright, has its own test runner, and because it has its own test runner, the Playwright team has built in a lot of really great features and functionality out of the box that if you use Playwright in some other language like .NET or Java, I don't know if they have a Go library, but if you use something other than TypeScript, you're going to have to use whatever test runner or test framework that exists. Like in .NET, you'd have to use InUnit or XUnit or MS Test. And so recreating some of the features that the Playwright team provides in their TypeScript test runner is not simple. So that's my take as a professional quality engineer. I understand if you have to work on Selenium things and Cypress things because you're working on some legacy things, but if you're doing new things, hands down, you should pick Playwright. Yeah, Stux, I can see your message. I don't know why Nightbot said you spam, but it did. Hey, what's up, Logan? How you been? Bob, hey, did you make it through the LLM book? No, I have not. I'm kind of where I left off the last time I was on stream. I haven't revisited it. I'm basically at the point where instead of training the model ourselves, we're going to take open source weights from ChatGPT 2 and we're going to load those into our model. But I plan on getting it done at some point. Decent Forget. Hello, Decent Forget. How are you? What is the XP actually for? I have no idea. That's a YouTube thing. Stux, I hate when you have to make your website for multiple devices and not only desktop. I think in today's world, depending on what you're building, but in today's world, you should probably build your website mobile first and then make it responsive to desktop, in my opinion. Like, I think you'd be surprised, like, and maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but the vast majority of people who are going to use a website are going to use it from their phone. Most people's primary computing device these days is their phone. So in my opinion, if you're designing a website or you're designing an app, you should lay it out and build the UI around the fact that it's going to be shown on a vertical screen, and then have styling and whatnot to make it look good and function well on a desktop too. Which probably feels crazy because I would guess for me and for probably a lot of people that find their way to my content, you probably don't use your phone as your primary computing device. But we are not representative of the average person. Mohammed, is there any way to super chat? Yeah, there should be a way to super chat. I don't know how to do it though. I've never done it on YouTube, but I did get YouTube partner, the part of the YouTube partner program, so people can super chat me. I don't know how to tell you to do it though. And nor am I going to tell you have to do it. You work hard for your money, so if you've got better uses for your money than sending it to me in a super chat, you should use your money for whatever thing would benefit you more. Shadia, you look like Felix from Stray Kids. That's not the. This is the second time somebody said this to me in 2 days. Keyshawn, Cypress have pricing, but Playwright is free. I don't think Cypress costs money, does it? I think you can use Cypress like you can Playwright. Let's see, Cypress licensing. I don't think it costs money to use Cypress. Bob, no way to super chat. Well, Bob, that's super kind of you, Bob. Thank you very much. Yeah, Cypress offers a free open source version for sure. So if you want to use Cypress without paying, you definitely can. Obviously, if you want like any of their cloud offering stuff, right, that's going to cost you money. Nova, you got any loopholes to exploit and reduce your tax burden legally? I would not. I would not say I exploit any loopholes, but I don't make enough money really to have like a sophisticated approach to tax avoidance. Let's see. Probably the biggest thing I do is I contribute to my 401k at work, which is pre-tax, so that helps lower my tax burden. But yeah, I don't fuck around with taxes or anything that has to do with the federal government. I actually have a very good story about an interaction I had with the federal government. If you guys want to hear it, if you want a story time, it's completely unrelated to anything to do with programming or coding, but it's a pretty crazy story. I need to make a video about it actually, because I have a bunch of footage from when it all happened. I just need to sit down and edit it together. Hey, what's up, Sam? Playwright, fuck the world. Yes, Playwright is Playwright is where it's at, man. I will die on that hill. If you need to do some browser automation, whether that's for testing your own website or if you're just doing some stuff that requires you to load up a browser in memory and navigate around and I don't know what you would need that to do. Maybe the thing you're working with doesn't provide some sort of API or something. But yeah, if you have that requirement, Playwright's what you should reach for. Using Google Opinion Rewards is basically free money. Oh wow, that's crazy. Well, if that's what people are doing, I will happily take your Google Opinion Rewards. I would hope you could redeem them in a more useful way though than just super chats, right? Can you redeem them in other ways for other things for yourself? Keyshawn, so are you using Agent in Code Editor to write tests? No, I'm just doing it the old school way. Agent mode. So agents writing automated UI tests is not super helpful because you have to have context about the thing you're testing or the UI you're testing, right? So in order to get an agent to do that effectively would probably be pretty involved. You'd have to have the agent like first navigate to this page I want to write a test for, and I guess you could probably use some sort of MCP server to do that. Then you'd have to explain like the complexities of the app that you're testing, right? Because like I'm not just the tests that I write they don't just load up a browser and verify that there's a button there, right? They automate like complete user workflows. So you'd have to some way tell the agent, here's a workflow that a user can do. Here are all the pages involved, right? And I mean, you could probably do it, but it would be rather an intense and involved thing. Like that probably sounds like something you'd be better off building a product around than trying to piecemeal something for yourself together to use. So no, I'm just coding old school by hand. I'm coding by hand. Hello, Cheryl. Thanks for stopping by the chat and leaving some really strange comments. Stux. It's so wrong that YouTube sets super chat at 22 euros as standard. What's 22? What is that in dollars? Stux. Is that like $5, $10 for Google Play Store? Nothing else, I think. Oh, that sucks. Well, I mean, I guess you could use Google Play Store, right? You could buy some apps and stuff, huh? No, but I think you meant for the win, abbreviated as FTW. Oh, I took that as fuck the world. But okay. Hey man, give me a break. I'm a 32-year-old dad too. I'm not up on all the internet slang. I'm basically an old man when it comes to YouTube. Sam, yeah, for the win. Sorry, Sam. That makes so much more sense. For that context. That's hilarious. I guess you guys know where my mind goes, though. I must just have I default to like a rebellious mindset. Fuck the world. Juke life, how old? I'm 32. I'm a 32-year-old dad of two who lives in Kansas, Midwestern. Okay, I fixed my test. So now I have a completed. Okay. Excuse me. Oh God. You guys ever like be typing something on your terminal, like a kind of a long command, and then you accidentally hit the up arrow, and then your command is now lost forever to the ether? I just did that. It's very frustrating. But there's no one to be frustrated with except myself. $22 is 25 or 22 whatever. Is that a euro? I don't know what that denomination is. It's 25 USD. That's crazy that it defaults to that. That's highway robbery. Oh, you want to show some support to a streamer? Here, $25 is the starting point. Yeah, that's way too much money. Juke life. We are the old tubers. Yes, I am for sure an old. In the context of the interwebs, I'm an old person now, and I have to come to terms with that. Nova, what do you think is the right age for marriage, Chief? I know I need to have an opinion on this because I have 2 kids, and someday I'm going to have to try to make a. I guess the reasonable answer is like you need to be of legal age, right? So in the U.S., you need to be 18 years old, probably, right? You want to be able to consent to marriage. You should be 18 or older, and I think that's actually the law in the U.S. I think you can get married younger, but you have to have like parental consent or something. I honestly don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I think my advice to my kids would be figure out who you want to marry first. The most important thing is you got to find a partner. Find the partner. Find the person you want to build a life with. In terms of like formalizing it with like marriage, that's a thing that I don't think you need to be any rush to do at all, and do it when it makes sense for you. But I think the most important part is finding that person first. Stux, what is the timer for? The timer is just a Pomodoro timer. It's the website I use. This is the website I use. I've used this for like 4 or 5 years now. But it's great. Yeah, it's a great timer. Lorem Ruda. Hi from India. Hello, Lorem. Can you do the arrow down and it comes back? Works for me. I don't think it does, at least not on PowerShell. Let me try. Let's do git add. And then go up and go back down. You may have solved my problem. Hold on, why didn't that work earlier, though? I thought I tried that earlier. Git. Hello? Huh. I don't know why that didn't work for me earlier, but that's good to know. I feel like I tried that and it didn't show back up, but yeah, you definitely called it, man. I must have done something wrong. User error. Keyshawn Mary, we're on break now. Start the break timer. Also, let's put I got a new thing for stream, so I think I can put the chat on stream now. Let me see if it works. Yeah, there we go. We got chat on stream now. This took me a minute to figure out, but I got it. Keyshawn Mary, when you have stable income source. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty good advice. I think a lot of that though is contextual to around what your relationship is, right? So if you find a partner who is just as equally and career ambitious as you are, and you don't have an expectation that like you're going to support one another, right? Or if you have an understanding that one of you is going to support the other, I think Keyshawn, that's a good like rule of thumb. I don't think necessarily it's true in all cases. Benjamin, are you using OmniSharp for C# in NeoVim? Yes. Yep. And actually, you can find my NeoVim configs. I think it's !NeoVim, but I have all my configs out there. So, Ben, if you want to look at how my NeoVim is set up for C#, you can find it there. Stux, your eyes got bigger when you got mind blown. Yeah. Well, that'll save me a lot of frustration. Sam, I'm on the big screen. You are indeed on the big screen. The chat, I'm actually using it's a website called Stream Elements. I'm sure some of you guys have probably already know about this, but I just found out about this today. It's called Stream Elements, and it's completely free. And you basically can go on their website and you can set up these overlays, and then they give you a link that you use as a source in OBS, and it's pretty cool. Butterscotch Mary, only when you are ready to say sorry for no reason. That's a good one, Butterscotch. You do have to pick your battles. I mean, but that's not just marriage. That's any relationship, work or otherwise, right? You're gonna have to pick your battles in any relationship. What are the things that are most important to you and that you're willing to die on, and what are those things that you're willing to compromise? I always like Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, I don't know if he said it in a book or what. I heard it when he was interviewed on the Lex Friedman podcast. He talked about this idea of like disagree and commit. So I think in relationships, I think it's healthy to be able to have disagreements, but then it's also healthy to be able to decide what things you're willing to fight for and what things you're willing to voice your disagreement, but still compromise and say, okay, we'll do it your way, and not maliciously comply, right? Like not, well, I'll do it your way, but along the way, I'll be secretly trying to sabotage you. I think you want to I think you want to disagree, but you also want to be all in on whatever the next step is. So I really like that idea. Disagree and commit. Sam, any plans to do horizontal streams? What is the statistics? Is everyone here watching on mobile? I'd have to look. I don't think I've ever looked at that. There are quite a few people who find my stream from. There are definitely the viewership is much higher on vertical streams than horizontal streams. I did try, Sam. I did try. There's an OBS plugin that allows you to do vertical and horizontal streams simultaneously. It's a little cumbersome to set up because you basically have to go to YouTube, you have to create 2 streams, then you have to come back to OBS and you have to take your stream key for each independent stream, and so you end up outputting one horizontal to one stream and vertical to another. I tried to set that up, and I don't know if it's my internet or if it's my computer, but it kind of it made the streams horrible. They did not, the quality was very low. There was a lot of lag. I was dropping frames. So for now, I'm going to do vertical, and maybe we could sprinkle in like a horizontal every so often, you know? But that's the plan for the moment. Stux, but I gotta go. See you, Stux. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. All right. Our break is over. Ben made a transition to using NeoVim and Tmux. Did find OmniSharp crashing quite often. Slow to startups. Also find it difficult to hook it all to Fidget. I don't know what Fidget is. I've had good luck with OmniSharp and NeoVim. However, I guess I should say I haven't been using it like on incredibly large .NET solutions. So I think I've used it on a solution that had 10 projects max, 5 like production projects, and then 5 corresponding test projects, and it seemed to do okay. There's also a C# plugin for Roslyn, but I have not gone down that rabbit hole. Roslyn is what I should be using because OmniSharp's actually like deprecated. I think all of VS Code and Visual Studio now uses Roslyn. It also has support for like Razor syntax highlighting if you're doing things with Razor. But I haven't taken that. I haven't taken that plunge. Once I got my NeoVim config like working, I kind of told myself like leave it at that. I've made small tweaks here and there, but I haven't changed it too much or haven't changed it significantly. Let's see, where was I? 150. All right. We got a PR open. Now we just got to wait for these checks to complete. Hopefully they complete successfully. We'll see. Omcar. I just completed learning the bash. I like how you put that. I just completed learning the bash. Now can I get 7-figure job? I don't think it's enough, man. I don't think knowing bash is enough to land a 7-figure job. You probably get a job, but probably not a 7-figure one. Nova, is there something you know that you wish you had known it earlier, maybe during your 20s? Well, I think when I got my first big boy job when I was like 23, I really wish I would have started pouring into my 401k then. But I was also trying to like claw our way also out of debt at the same time. So like, what are you gonna do? That's kind of a practical thing. I think, yeah, I don't know. It's probably, I'm trying to think. Something I know now at 32 that I wish I would have known in my 20s. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for that one. I definitely, I guess, when I was maybe 18, like when I was entering college, I think what I wish I would have known is just don't be in such a hurry. Like when I got out of high school, I was just like in such a hurry to complete college, get through school, get on with those 4 or 5 years. And I wish I would have just known that, like, hey, you don't need to be in a rush. This is gonna happen. The time is gonna pass. Try to be here. Try to enjoy the point in life you're at right now, and don't be trying to run to the next chapter. Sam, every month or so I feel too productive after I've not touched my config in a while. Yeah, it takes quite a bit of discipline to resist just spending all day tinkering on the tools you love, Ben, what's your primary language that you code on apart from C Sharp? So C Sharp and TypeScript are what I use the most. So TypeScript is what I use predominantly for work because I'm doing automated testing primarily when I code. I do some C Sharp. I do write some C Sharp for work, but not as much as TypeScript. In my free time, I would say I probably do like 40% TypeScript, 60% C Sharp, something like that. Excuse me. Hey, what's up, Noku? How are you doing? Learn Dart. Also, hi. Somebody mentioned Dart and Dart and Flutter aren't the same thing, are they, Noku? Someone mentioned yesterday Flutter. Backyard Gamer. Hey man, how's it going? Hey, what's up, dude? How are you? I'm doing well. No complaints here. Car, I was joking. Fair enough. All right, my PR passed all its checks. So we can merge this in and move on to the next thing. Which is wonderful. It always feels nice. All my PR checks run on GitHub Actions, and it always feels nice when you see all those green check marks. Who knew green check marks would bring me such joy? Let's see. I need to decide what I'm going to work on next, too. Butterscotch, yeah, $1 million is too much unless you are some super genius individual. Did you guys see Mark Zuckerberg offered some AI scientist or I don't know if there was a scientist or researcher, but somebody that has, I guess, incredible AI knowledge. He offered $250 million. That's crazy. I mean, I think part of it was cash and part of it was stock, but like 100 million of it was guaranteed in the first year. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Butterscotch, 100 million. Yeah, well, I thought it was like the initial offer was 150, and the guy turned him down, and then he came back with 250 and 100 mil in the first year or something like that. It's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Noku, Dart is the programming language. Flutter is a simple single-pass app making framework. Ah, okay. There's the connection I was missing. Okay. So I need to learn Dart so I can build what? Cross-platform mobile apps? Is that what that's for, Noku? Basically, that way you can write code once and use it in iOS and also use it on Android. Omkar, how much you rate yourself out of 10 in CP? What's CP? I don't know what that is. Or at least I don't know what that. I shouldn't say I don't know what that is. I should say I don't know what that abbreviation stands for. Competitive programming, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't competitive program. I don't think I'd be very good at competitive programmer. I don't think I'm a very fast programmer. I think I'm a decent programmer. I think I'm a good programmer, but I'm not somebody who can sit down and like jam out. Like I'm like if you watch the Primogen code, he is fast and well thought out. And for me, I need time to think about how I'm going to solve a problem. But then once I've thought about it, then I can sit down and implement it, right? So I'm just not very, which again, I'm sure doesn't make me very attractive as a uh, as a as a developer, but I mean, self-awareness, know thyself, right? So I'm confident I can solve most problems. It's just I'm not going to solve them faster than probably most people or most other developers. I honestly, I mean, in my opinion, I don't think being able to type code is the bottleneck in most software development processes. In my opinion, or at least in my experience, the biggest bottleneck when it comes to building software is deciding on what we're going to build and then very clearly and accurately articulating what is going to be built. Sam, Flutter is nice, but may as well use React Native if you're a TypeScript dev already. That's so. What Sam just said, React Native, that's the mobile app kind of framework I was going to try to learn, but now maybe Dart is the right way to go. Although it sounds like, or Flutter, it sounds like if I want to use Flutter, I have to learn a new language. And I already know how to write React and TypeScript, so I'd probably be more productive using React Native. I don't really have an itch though to do mobile app development. The thing I don't like about mobile app development is the fact that you have to go through these gatekeepers. You have to figure out how to get your app published on these different stores, and you can't just deploy it and it be accessible like a web app. Nova, if not coding, what would you have loved to do for a living? Nova, if I could have my pick, I'd be a strength coach. That's what I'd do. And ideally, I'd be a strength coach in the NFL or at the collegiate level. And I would just hang out with athletes all day and help them get faster, bigger, stronger. And that might be what I do once my kids get off to their next adventure, they turn 18 and get jobs or go to college or whatever. I don't know if I'll keep working in tech. I might go back to trying to um, be a trainer or a strength coach of some kind. That's my first love. It's my first love. It was just going to be very hard to try to support a family in that industry doing that for a living. Omkar, in your dev journey, how much you needed the concepts of DSA? Very little. Obviously, though, the type of development I do is not heavily skewed probably to DSA knowledge. The place that I've used DSA the most has been when I've done Advent of Code. So I did Advent of Code in 2023. I did Advent of Code in 2024, and like those challenges forced me to go deeper on data structures and algorithms than really anything else. Noku, yep, allows you to make an app via widgets and have it be freaking fully and easily cross-platform. Building the app is as simple as Flutter build. Very cool. Sam, you also just described React Native. Okay, so the decision then is if I want to learn a new programming language, I should use Flutter. If I don't want to have to learn a new language, I can use React Native. Hello, Sawhill. How are you? Ben John, any plans on learning Rust? That's the buzzword these days, I think. I did try to learn Rust. I tried in January. I started reading the Rust programming language book. There's a repo on my GitHub with some of the progress I made. I think I got to chapter 8 or 9 before I got distracted on something else. It was very interesting. I would love to go back and put more time to it. The one big takeaway I had from it was I had never worked with a language where I was responsible for memory management. I've always worked in like C# or TypeScript, GC language. And so while Rust makes it difficult to write incorrect code, I did find it very interesting that having to think about ownership added an extra layer of like what I want to say. It added like extra mental load to the programming process, which was kind of interesting. Martin, what about PWA? So I think the thing with PWA is it's just limited, like what you can do with it, right? There's some limitations on APIs that native APIs that you can access. But I think PWAs would be a super good viable alternative if you don't want to have to deal with building a native app. I can tell you from experience, Dart is super easy to learn. I learned Dart in like an hour. Oh, very cool. Well, I don't know. I might not be as smart as you, Noku, so that might be the problem. Nicole, watch a Stray Kids music video. This is the third person that's brought up Stray Kids to me. Butterscotch, in my opinion, Flutter project is easier to set up than React Native. Interesting. Nova, I feel out of place with all the coding terms floating around. Well, you're still welcome here, you know? Noku, billion times faster, much more performant as well. Interesting. Well, you guys are educating me quite a bit on if I ever take a side path down the mobile app development world, little side quest. I should be able to make a pretty good decision about what I do. Sam D Dev. I've been playing around with Rust lately too. So Sam, what do you think of Rust? Do you like it? Jamal, a dinosaur here. Would assembly help me be a better programmer today? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't think knowing assembly. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if knowing I would think any amount of additional knowledge probably makes you a better programmer. In most cases. I don't think it's necessary though. And I'm not sure how much better, right? Like if you know assembly, let's say like Jamal, let's think this out. Like if you're a web developer and we have a web developer who knows assembly and a web developer who doesn't know assembly, and let's say you both build front ends in React. What's the delta? How much better are you at your day job, which is writing React front ends, because you know assembly versus the other guy? I don't think the delta's that big. Like you can probably talk deeper and longer about things because you know assembly, but does that make you a more effective or productive React developer? I don't know. I'm thinking no, especially considering probably how much time and effort you have to put in. But that's just my hot take. Noku. Oh yeah, did my first ever code work for pay ever. Debugged a website with Laravel and a bot controlling site with JS. It was hell, but I got paid. Now I hate JS even more. Well, hey man, if you're earning money, it's hard to hate on that. Mr. Dark, love the green shirt. Oh, thanks. Yeah, my wife's uncle bought this for me randomly. It's from like a pub in Breckenridge, Colorado. So it was a random purchase, but it's a good shirt. Also, a very random comment. Sam, Rust is awesome. Honestly, it provides a great path to creating solutions. What 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 would you build with it? Like, would you use Rust to build a web API? Would you use it to build a console tool? Is that sort of the sweet spot for Rust? Is building CLI tools, or just curious if you did put that language in your tool belt, when would you reach for it most often? Also, Flutter is not just mobile apps; it's also desktop apps. Super great way to make good looking UI apps. I've used it to create many tools for myself. They're in my GitHub. Oh, awesome. So I think right now, honestly, Noku, I think if I was to actually go down the rabbit hole of like building mobile apps, I would either do React Native or .NET MAUI, because I'd rather like get into the mobile world through languages I already know. But maybe then once I'm in the mobile app world, I could jog on over to Flutter. But I think to start with, I'd probably use one of those existing technologies whose programming language I already understand. Jamal, much obliged. Of course, Jamal. Hopefully you found that a helpful take and not too offensive or off-putting, or doesn't dissuade you from learning assembly if you were wanting to learn assembly. Ben John, .NET Aspire. .NET Aspire is awesome. And I think .NET Aspire is going to... I think in some ways, my prediction on .NET Aspire is it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time for it to get popular because it is a Microsoft thing. But I think if you're writing a distributed app, .NET Aspire is going to start to take over the scene, right? I think it's going to become more and more polyglot. Like I can totally see a world where people are using a .NET Aspire app host to coordinate an application that's made up of a Python API written in Flask, a front end that's written in React, a database, a Postgres database that runs in a container, and let's say a Redis cache that runs in a container. Like I can totally see Aspire becoming that popular, where like I'm not really a .NET developer, but I use .NET Aspire to help make my development experience awesome. So I'm a big .NET believer. I'm bought in. Because once you use .NET Aspire, you're like, wow, this makes local web or local development so nice, so convenient. The .NET Aspire dashboard alone is chef's kiss, man. They did such a great job with that dashboard. So if you haven't checked out .NET Aspire, or you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you should go check out .NET Aspire. French fried. I'd rather do your mom. I'd rather do your mom that make an app. Well, first you got to learn how to write a sentence, French fried, and yeah, man. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Arcane, hi. Can you say happy birthday, me man? Happy birthday, me man. See, I just said it. I said it twice, actually. In my opinion, Go is much better in terms of building anything, both developer experience and build times, than Rust. Interesting. Okay. French fried. Just use Docker and that it. Yeah. Well, if you've ever written a Docker Compose file, Docker Compose is far from the experience that .NET Aspire offers. So if you've not used .NET Aspire, well, I should say if you think Docker Compose, like having a Docker Compose file, is more convenient than using .NET Aspire, I would think that you haven't used .NET Aspire. Santosh, will ActiveX Web grow? I don't even know what Actix Web is. Nova, all right, Treef, gotta go. Hope you have a great day. See you, Nova. Stux, what is the favorite thing you have on your desk? The most favorite thing I have on my desk is this Ember mug. My mother-in-law got me that for Christmas 3 years ago. But it basically makes it so that you can brew a coffee and have it stay hot and not have to reheat it 20 times. Why do I feel like I have a hair on my face? I keep like looking down and thinking there's a hair on my face. Also, just in case anybody missed that, the thing that I have on my desk that I love the most is an Ember mug. An Ember mug. It's like $100. My mother-in-law got it for me for Christmas. It keeps my coffee hot, and I don't have to reheat my coffee 10 times in an hour. Nine, would you agree that Kotlin is the most beautiful programming language ever created? I've never written Kotlin or read Kotlin, so I don't know. I can't agree or disagree. Jake, I see you using C#. Have you ever thought about getting into augmented reality, developing some augmented reality based applications? No, I have not. I've never considered it. I really enjoy web development, so I haven't really looked outside of that much. That's been the work I've enjoyed doing. But I'm sure at some point my programming career will go down some different arcs, and maybe augmented reality is on that. I don't know if Rust deletes your entire system and thrashes it like downloading a Go package can do. So what's that referring to, Noku? Is there some Go package out there that did that to somebody? I don't understand that reference. 9, 100 buckaroos? She must really love you. Well, yeah, I don't know. I hope she likes me. I married her daughter, you know. But yeah, she was very generous of her. But I've definitely gotten more than $100 use out of it. It just keeps getting brighter and brighter on my camera. Here, let me try to... Oh, that looks a little dark, but that's definitely better than what it was. Let's see if I can bump the brightness a little bit. Maybe just one... That's 125? 124? Yeah, that's better. Ben, hey, gotta go. You have a great day. Love the conversation. We'll definitely be back the next time you live stream here. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate you hanging out with us, man. You're welcome back anytime. Most of the time, my streams will involve actual coding on stream, but sometimes I do these types of streams where I just kind of sit and chat with you guys for a little while, especially if it's during the work day, you know. If I've already taken my lunch and it's during the work day, then I sort of have to work and chat. Noku, shell commands can be embedded into Go packages because Go can execute code when downloading and installing a package. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of a vulnerability, right? Waiting to happen. But then again, you hear about all the horrible things that happen when people npm install packages, so Jake, same. I'm using Next.js, tinkered with C#, but after watching Zuckerberg recently and reading into their investments, I got the urge to get into it. I think he's banking on AR being commonplace. Well, I love AR. We actually have a MetaQuest 3S, whatever the newest MetaQuest is. And yeah, man, I could totally if that technology, if they could put the MetaQuest technology in their like Ray-Ban looking glasses, I would give up my phone for that, 100%. Noku, there was one package that had an obfuscated shell command do so. That's rough, man. That's rough. I mean, we all install packages every day without really thinking about it, you know? So it could happen to any one of us. But yeah, that would be a really shitty day. All right. Well, I think I'm going to go and finish out my last couple hours of work. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. This was fun. Afternoon, chatting. I'm guessing I'll probably be live this evening working on some code, doing something, maybe looking at effect.ts some more. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a good Friday. I hope you have a good rest of your Friday if I don't see you later today. And if it's already, I guess, Saturday for you, if it's not even Friday anymore, I hope you're having a good Saturday. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, Noku. Jake, they have a pair of glasses they created. It was called Orion. So the tech is there, but I think battery life is current issue. Yeah, the battery life thing is battery is definitely an issue, right? 100%. All right. Anyways, see you, Jake. See you, Noku. Bye. Thanks thanks for subscribing, Ben John. Appreciate that. See you, Butterscotch. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys. Bye.